Thank you for practicing with me today. Today's practice is a slow flow practice, and today's Dharma is focusing on seeing what's known as the real from the unreal. Another way to say that is the permanent from the impermanent. And the example that I'll use today as we practice is the idea of the difference between happiness and joy. Happiness would be in the category of unreal or impermanent, and joy would be in the category of real or permanent, just to give you a sense of how those two things might look. Another way to think about it is happiness is often defined by things that we either acquire or experiences we have or moments in time that are somewhat dependent on the external environment. A trip or an experience, an interaction, or acquiring something, buying something, or anything like that. But as soon as those things disappear, we tend to feel unhappy. Joy, on the other hand, is this state of mind that we try to tap into that is not dependent on anything outside of ourselves. It's an internal state, and it's connected to the things that are more lasting, more permanent, and more real. So let's think of our yoga practice today in that way. I would say range is more the happiness factor. I got into the arm balance. I got my forehead to the shins in a forward fold. Everything I did well today. That's, tends to be like, that makes us happy. But then the next time we practice, if that's not the case, we can often feel let down or unhappy. There's so many other things at work in our practice beyond the external. The internal states are our joyful states. So as you practice today, can you tap into those? Whether it's the grounding of your mind or the deep sensation you get in your body, whether positive or negative, but the aliveness we feel when we feel, or our breath, which is permanent for now, always there for us, and a source of great sensation and satisfaction. If we can tap into what's beneath the external, that means we're able to tap into our joy and less dependent on things that make us happy. So that's what we'll think about today as we practice. I'm looking forward to this one with you. I'm going to have you guys start in Ragdoll. Of course, as usual, I will join you for a lot of it. So, we'll do it together. Your feet are going to be in inner hips width. You're going to hang down from your hips, bend your knees as much as you need to. Grab your opposite elbows, releasing your head. And allowing all the tension from your shoulders and your neck and your head begin to release down with your first full exhale. Giving yourself a sense of settling down into the posture. We'll be here for a few breaths, so do the work you have to in your lower body to allow your upper body to relax. And that way you get some nice release in your back. You're not just focusing on the hamstrings here, which take a while to open, but you get some nice sensation in other areas of our bodies that tend to hold tension. Elongate your breath, make it a little bit deeper. Find the parts about your breath that you really enjoy. Even if you're nowhere near getting your ribs onto your thighs, that would be a factor of happiness but not joy. Breathe here deeply for 3 more. Let your arms release down. Take a big step back to down dog. All the same rules apply in terms of knees bent or legs straight, depending on your body. Take a look back at your feet and make sure that they are hip bone distance apart, more or less, and that your heels are lined up behind the second and third toe of each foot. That way your foot is truly parallel, and you can really drag the center of your heels towards the ground even if they don't touch. Strong lengthening of your hips away from your hands. Breathe into your side body. No tension in your head or your neck. Stay here for a few breaths. I myself find a lot of great joy in finding those places where I can relax and release that chronic tension, that sense of stress that we tend to carry with us. And that is something we can do just with our mindset. It doesn't matter how straight your legs are. You get to do that no matter what your range in a posture is. So Tap into those things that bring you back to your mat over and over again. Good. One more deep breath in and out. And then softly release your knees to the floor. If you can keep them together, keep them together. Press back to a long extended child's pose. Head is released. Continue the work of lengthening through your upper body like you did in down dog. Continue the work of breathing deeply. We'll take 3 breaths here. And then from here, come forward to your hands and your knees. Shoulders line up over your wrists and knees line up over your hips. Elongate the inhale, turn your tailbone and your chest up to the ceiling. Exhale fully as you round, hollowing out your belly, chin to your chest. Do 3 slow rolls from cow back to cat back. Moving on the breath, inhale, lengthening and arching. Exhale, contracting and rounding. Do 1 more like this. Inhale. And exhale. I'm going to add on to this. Slow inhale back to your cow back. Now lean forward as you exhale. Release your chest and your chin towards the ground. Pause. Press back up, inhale. Round on the exhale, move your seat towards your heels. Inhale forward to hands and knees and arch. Second time, exhale, slow lower down, no momentum. Inhale to push up. Round on the exhale, pull your seat back towards your heels. 2 more times. Inhale, slow draw, cow back. Exhale, slow drop 8-point pose. Inhale, push back up. Round, exhale, move back. You have 1 more to do here. Inhale. Long chest, exhale. Inhale. Round and exhale. Settle back, take about 3 breaths. Maybe walk your hands forward a bit more. Stretching out a little more here. Of course, on the days we feel strong and we feel flexible, we feel happy with our practice, and a lot of times, the days that we don't feel those things, we tend to feel dissatisfied. We should be able to feel joy no matter what our bodies are able to do in any given moment, because we are looking for those things. Come forward again to your hands and your knees, curl your toes, down dog. Once again, press through. We're sort of moving back slowly to where we started. Take out 4 deep breaths. Make your posture bigger with your breathing so that even if you're not moving, you're feeling that sense of expansion, which is really gratifying. You can breathe in, gaze forward, exhale. 2 big steps to the front of your mat, back to Ragdoll, right where we started from. Grab your opposite elbows, draw down. Maybe tuck your head in your arms and breathe. Allow the arms to release, a little bend in your knees, a slow curl up, coming to stand. Palms of your hands to the heart. Inhale, let the arms rise. Exhale, fold through, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, and on your exhale, step to plank pose, keeping your feet hip bone distance apart. Stack your feet if you're able. We're going to roll to right side, side plank. If you don't want to stack your feet, you can stagger your feet, so the left foot might be in front of the right, or you could always step the foot in front if you want. Since it's slow flow, we have a hold here. We'll take maybe 2 more breaths. Maybe we find joy in the challenge. Come through plank pose And then over to the left side, same thing. About 5 deep breaths here. Pressing away from the floor with your left side, not just your left arm, but your left hip, right? Your left side body is contracting and pressing right side up. Take one more breath. And then come through to plank pose. Now you can always put your knees down in your plank pose. We're moving to the floor. Shift forward as you inhale, slow exhale. Bring your body down and untuck your toes. Little baby cobra here. Take an inhale, maybe float your hands just to check. You can even fly them back if you feel like doing something different with your arms. And feel like all 10 toenails are pressing down as your heart lifts up. Take one more breath in and out. And then you can place your hands down. Simply press back to your knees and come to down dog. You can always come through plank if you like, and just find your way back your way. And take a breath or two. Now today we're sort of going to work some of our jumps a little bit differently. Have you bring your feet forward a little and together so they're touching. And then keep your feet together, but bend your knees out to the side. So you see my belly kind of moves between my thighs. Straighten up the legs and take a couple of practice kind of pushes. I always think of it like pulling a rubber band back and then springing it forward. Let's do one more jump forward on the exhale. Good. Lengthen on your inhale and exhale, fold. Big inhale to come all the way up. And this time on the exhale, sit down into Utkatasana. And you can always put your arms forward if that's better for you, or lift the arms above your head. Root to your feet. Squeeze in through your inner thighs. Pelvic floor lifts up. Stay here, sit down a little deeper. One more breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen, and as before, hands to the ground, exhale, plank pose. Right side, side plank. Hold for 5. This top hip, keep it forward instead of over rotating. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then we're going to come through plank pose and roll to the left side. Same thing here. Don't over rotate that top hip. So keep it facing forward. Press the floor away from you. Breathe deeply. You have 2 more. And then we'll come back to plank pose. Same choices here. Knees up or down. Breathe in, shift forward. Exhale, slowly come down to the mat. And this time, a little bit higher on your cobra. Press the chest up. Take 2 breaths. On the exhale, you can lower down, you can push up and back. Downward facing dog. Breathe deeply. One more. And then once again, we're going to walk the feet a little forward, bring the feet together. Let's just take like 3 practices. Bend the knees wide, chest back, push up, and 2, and exhale, jump. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, and exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. And last time, bend the knees, exhale, Utkatasana. Hands will come to the heart and we'll take rotated chair. Left elbow to outer right thigh. Squeeze the outer hips in, roll the chest around. Find the thing beneath the pose that is, I don't know, more joyful. Maybe the fact that it'll be over soon. Excellent. Inhale through center. Exhale, right elbow to outer left thigh. Stay and breathe for 2 more. Inhale, rise through center. And exhale, fold it out. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. One more time, exhale to plank pose. Hold your plank. Right side, side plank. Hold for 5. If you're in the mood, you can lift your top leg off your bottom leg, make it a little harder. Yeah, why not? One more. And then you can come through plank pose and roll to the left side for about 5 breaths. Yeah, so we're really trying to dig deep underneath the surface, whether it's the postures or the thought or the moment, to get to those things that are more lasting and more concrete. Come to plank pose. This time, we're gonna go halfway down, if you like, on the exhale, chaturanga, and inhale, up dog, 3 breaths. Breathe in, exhale, roll back. Nice work, downward facing dog, take a couple of breaths. All right, take an inhale, you'll gaze forward. With your exhale, right foot steps towards right hand. So you're not stepping to the middle of your mat. You can come on your left fingertips, or you can put your palm flat down to the ground. That's totally up to you. Bring your right arm up, simple twist here. Few deep breaths. We start to tap in then eventually to the joy of some of these shapes. How it feels good, even if it doesn't, look as good as you think it should. All right, take another deep inhale and exhale here. Now this arm in the air, the right arm, it's gonna come alongside your head, and you're gonna turn your torso out to the left corner of your mat, plant your right palm down, and then stretch your left arm out in that same direction. My lower body is still doing the lunge. So I'm gonna drop my head between my biceps. Think about my lower body staying in that basic lunge, and my upper body sort of going rogue to the left. Nice side stretch in the right side of my torso. One more breath. And then just finish by walking around to the left and pivoting your feet so that they turn parallel to the short edges of your mat. And then fold here. Any version, by the way, of this posture you want. I like hands on the ground, maybe backwards. You can grab your ankles or your big toes. Find your breathing. You might even find that left to your own devices, you gravitate towards postures that really do bring you joy. I find I do similar ones. Each practice, reliable ones show up. Those are the ones that really have those feelings of joy for me. Take one more. Nice. We're going to come up onto the fingertips and then turn your heels in and turn your toes out, lowering your seat, bending your knees deeply. So your seat is pretty much level with your knees. Now bring your hand around. We'll do right hand to big toe side of the foot. Use a block if you need it. I don't have one nearby, sorry. But you just put one underneath if you need to, and then bring the left arm up, take a twist here. So this is like a super wide, kind of high squat, and you're using the bottom hand to press into the ground, lift your chest, and the top hand to remind you to open up that chest. Take one more breath in and out. Maybe lay back a little. All right, take the top arm down, pivot around to the front of the mat. We'll move back to down dog. You can get there any way you want. Just go slowly. Yeah. Take a breath. Release those heels towards the ground. Don't worry if they touch. And breathe in to look forward. Exhale, left foot towards left hand. Right palm either stays down, comes onto a block, or maybe your fingertips. Sweep the left arm up and twist. Yeah, we're going to hold for a few breaths and just find that the lower body is still holding that shape. The upper body is moving. And we're enjoying the turn of the belly and the heart up towards the ceiling. One more breath. Now we're going to bring that left arm alongside our ear. reach the arm towards the left, reach the right arm as well. I'm going to turn. Just give a better view, and then I have a little more room. And we're now working our upper body over to the right side, head between the biceps. Hold and breathe. And just check that that left knee is not splaying out to the left as we come here for one more breath. We'll just take a walk to the right and turn your feet once again for your wide forward fold. Ultimately, we derive joy from the ability to move and breathe. Regardless of what we look like, it is gratifying to really just feel our capability of being in our bodies, strong and flexible and mindful, the things that tend to be, more meaningful. All right, chest is gonna lift, heels turn in, toes turn out. I'm sitting low. Left palm plants next to my left foot, right arm comes up. Hold for 5 breaths here. Try if you can to shift a little so you've got even weight as much as you can in the right and the left legs. You're gonna definitely favor the left a little, but watch that you don't overdo it. Take one more breath. Then you'll bring the right hand down, pivot to the front of your mat, and go ahead and take your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Hold your down dog. Keep in mind too, I never met a person who found joy from endless amounts of chaturangas, right? Maybe it makes us happy from time to time, but that is not the source of the way we measure our practice. So you do those chaturangas as long as you feel strong and you're doing them well. You can skip them once in a while. Don't let that define how you feel about your practice. One more breath. Okay, I'm gonna breathe in, look forward. Once again, exhale, right foot towards right hand. This time just work your right foot once to the right and bring your hands to the inside of your front foot. Now, if you've got blocks nearby, you might start to settle your elbows or forearms down on the block. You can also come down to the floor if that's possible. So we're just deepening where we are and sitting in the interior of our right leg. Right, so if I were to turn forward and just give you a mirror view of that, we'd be here, right? Inside. And you're hugging that right knee towards the side body. So don't let it splay out. And hold for a couple more breaths. You can let the back round. You can let the head drop. So you're almost tucking into yourself a little. Last breath here. And then you can slowly come up. One hand to either side of the right foot. You might walk your right foot once to the left. And then straighten through your front leg slowly. Fold forward. Then I always get joy in straightening my leg once it's been bent for a while. Don't carry any tension with you from posture to posture. Keep working on relaxing and releasing all that excess activity. All right, guys, bend your front knee once again. Keep your hips low. Strong legs. Inhale, lift up to high lunge. We'll bring the hands to the heart and go for a deeper twist here. Turn to the right. Lower the left elbow to outer right thigh. Press top hand to bottom hand and find your twist once again. Strong action in your back leg. So thigh lifts up, heel pushes back. Maybe it's the twisting that you really enjoy, the sensation of wringing out. Maybe it's the ability to hold a posture like this but breathe deeply. Maybe it's just the effect in your mind. Here's the big push here. Keep your hands together, come to face the floor. Inhale, raise the arms up for lunge. Hold 3. Lengthen out of your hips for 2. Breathe in deeply and exhale slowly. Bring your hands to the mat. Good. Move through your vinyasa or straight to down dog, depending on what you want. Down dog is is the place we reconnect to our neutrality, to our, I don't know, the new beginning. It's a place to feel familiar and settled. Breathe and look forward. Exhale, left foot towards left hand. Bring the left hand to the inside of the leg. Maybe go a little wider. And then just descend. Elbows to blocks or forearms to the floor, whatever you can do. Drop your head. Continue to let your hip release, but just keep your hip even with your knee so that you really just got this straight line. Maybe with the dark pants it's hard to see, but I don't have my butt too high up and I'm not sitting too low. I'm really trying to hold what a lunge would look like. One more breath here. And you can slowly ease up off of your elbows. Work your left foot maybe once to the right and then straighten through your front leg. Fold down. You can even walk your fingers backwards if you like, just to make it a little more challenging. Or even you could do the same, walking your hands forward a little bit. Whoops. Yep, ground your front big toe so you don't fall over like I just did. One more. And then you can walk your hands back alongside your front foot, wherever they were. Bend your front knee. Let's rise on the inhale, high lunge. Bring your hands to your heart, turn to the left, and lower that right elbow to the outside of the thigh. Now push up through your back leg, up through your chest, and rotate, holding. Right, feeling a nice sense of twisting from the belly, which always feels good, like we're sort of squeezing or wringing out all that we don't need. One more breath here, guys. And then we're keeping the hands together. We're turning to face the floor, and then inhale, push up to lunge. Hold 3. Breathe 2. One more. And it's a slow lower of your hands to the ground. Move your way back to down dog any way you like. Hold and breathe for a breath. And then just get your knees to come down to the ground under your shoulders. Left hand stays lengthened out. Right arm threads across. Stretch your left arm out and twist. Couple breaths. Left hand can slide in to help the right arm out. Right arm out to the side, left arm across. Hold and breathe. Slide the right hand in to help the left arm out. Come back to down dog. Slowly peeling up. Yeah. And you just want to walk the feet together and a little further forward. And go ahead and bend deeply. Knees out to the sides. Straighten the legs. Do it 2 more times, then jump up. Yeah. Lengthen on the inhale. And exhale, fold. Let's stay here for a few breaths. Uttanasana. You can take your palms down. Maybe work your fingers level with your toes. You can work your hands behind your legs and draw down. You can have your hands on blocks. If you're forcing an external cue, you're not going to be happy or joyful. You're going to find that if you're driven by sensation, that your joy is more present than if you're trying for something that's past what you're able to do. One more breath. Okay. Now lift your chest. Heel toe your feet open to about the width of your mat. I'm going to turn somewhat sideways. Toes are turned out. Elbows to inner knees. This is squat. One version of Malasana. All right, if this is a challenging posture for you, totally understand, just stay where you are. If you're able to, we're gonna add a twist, much like we did when we did the goddess pose. So lowering your right shoulder towards your knee, you can take your palm down, pressing into the floor, sweep the left arm up, and take your twist here. And just enjoy the chest opening. Just a breath or two. Staying inside the legs, sweep that left arm down, press against the shin as you bring your palm down, sweep your right arm up, and take a twist. One more. And then you can release that hand down, and then simply just lift your hips and heel toe your feet back towards, the center, so to speak, inner hips width stance or something somewhat parallel, and fold for a few breaths. Nice. Now we're going to bend those knees fairly deeply here. So you can drop your seat somewhat level to your knees. Sweep your arms up, work your weight back towards your heels, or you can always have your arms forward, so don't worry about that. Hold for 3. Breathe here for 2. One more breath in, and then exhale, forward fold. Inhale as you lengthen, and then move your way back, any way you like, to down dog on the exhale. Just take your time, there's no rush. Press heels towards the ground, palms press down as well. Expand the angles of your body. One more breath in and out. And as before, inhale, gaze forward, exhale, right foot towards right hand. And this time, back heel drops down. I would say take it a little more to the left than you usually do for warrior 1, and then come up. So you've got a decent stance of width from right foot to left foot. Because we're going to try to fit our torso to the inside of our front leg. Hands behind the back, interlace your fingers. Inhale, raise the chest. And now exhale, start diving down. Try to nudge the right shoulder against the inner right knee. Face the floor with the chest, drop your head, and then let your hands just lift away. Lower that front thigh a little more, and maybe your head will get closer to the floor. Breathe. We're going to come up slowly on the inhale, raise the arms, straighten the right leg. Exhale, hinge forward. This is the Parshvottanasana you're a little more familiar with. Back heel is on the ground. Stay and breathe. Feel free to adjust your stance if the legs feel too far apart or even too wide at this point, which is possible. And then just let yourself fold for a moment. And then we're just going to turn to the left. Once again, wide legs. Fix your feet so that they are even with each other and the outside edge is parallel to the short edge of your mat. We're going to add a twist again. Right palm under right shoulder. Put a block under your hand if you need it. Take your left hand to your left hip crease. Pull it back and rotate. And then extend the left arm up. How about 2 more? Maybe. And then gently let the left hand come down. Once again, turn to the front of your mat. And finally, just drop your back knee to the floor. We're also coming to the inside of the right foot. So right hand comes inside. I like to untuck my toes. Go ahead and drop down low. Come to your low lizard here. Again, you feel the back is round, the head is hanging. The hips are descending. Don't worry so much about exactly where you are in space as much as how you feel. And can you consciously and willingly tap into the parts of your practice right now that are your joy? Take one more and see if the exhale will help you release a little closer down. And then come back up. And we're gonna meet in down dog. You know how to get there. You can stay, just take a straight step back or move through your vinyasa. Oh, slowly, big breaths. Nice. Big inhale. Exhale, left foot towards left hand. Maybe right foot to the right a little bit. Ground the heel, bend the front knee. Let's inhale up to Virabhadrasana 1. Maybe it feels a little wider than you're used to feeling. That's fine, because you know we've got to fit our torso to the inside. And this wider stance makes it a little easier. Hands behind the back. Interlace your fingers. Inhale, raise the chest. And exhale, go for it. Just keep reaching forward, rounding down. Bend that left knee, don't be shy. Back foot is really doing a lot of work, like an anchor off the boat, digging into the sand and holding you. Hold here for 3. Maybe with the exhale, your head comes closer to the ground, 2. You got it. Breathe here for 1. This is the hardest part, is pushing all the way back up. Inhale. Raise the arms, straighten the left leg. Exhale, come down over that front leg in Parshvottanasana. Adjusting your stance if you need to bring your back foot closer or even a little more narrow. Right, so you might adjust if that feels necessary or productive. One more. And then let's just walk around to the right. Turn your feet with you. I'm going to give you the polite view. Folding. One moment. Yeah, get your sit bones working up towards the ceiling here. And then the chest can lift the left palm down. Make sure it's lined up under the shoulder. If it's here, it's really not stable. Right? This is a much more stable place to be. Right hand into your hip crease. Pull that hip back so that your hips are trying to be somewhat even and level. And then extend the right arm up and breathe. Good. Take an inhale, exhale, lower the right hand down. You're going to turn to the left, coming back towards the front of your mat, and then drop your back knee onto the mat. Good. If you're coming again to the inside of your front leg, you can turn your toes out a little bit, and go ahead and lower down using your blocks if you need them, or if not, just resting your forearms on the mat, and let your head drop. And then do a little less and see if by releasing and relaxing your body finds more depth or greater sensation, or maybe you're just seeking greater peace, which is really going to be the joyful part. The real versus the unreal. Come up slowly from where you are, and once again, move back to down dog any way you like. So you can take a vinyasa if you want to. You can take a child's pose if you want to. Follow your joy. Maybe that's what you want to do right now. You always have the pause button if you need it. You can move your down dog a little if you like. Or even take a twist if you want to. So go ahead and freestyle for a couple of breaths. Okay. Directly from here, you're going to inhale, look forward, exhale, step your right foot towards your right hand and drop your back knee to the floor. So that sort of happens all at once. And then your right foot is going to walk across to the left side of your mat. You can hold your foot down if you like and lower your shin to the mat and slide back through that left leg. So initially, I really want to be like this. My hip wants to open because it's easier. Try to curl your toes, lift your knee, and roll that left hip forward and down. And if you can't manage to do that, either bring this foot back a little or sit up on something. All right, we're gonna come into pigeon pose here. For some of us, this is a place of great joy. For others, not so much. But it certainly yields great joy eventually if you can open up your hips in a way that feels, comfortable. And so settle in a little bit. There's a lot of versions or variations here. I'm resting my head on my hands, but you can come to sleeping pigeon, bringing your arms by your sides and your left cheek to the ground or the forehead to a block. So just sort of go where the sensation brings you in a way that feels good. We're not looking to compete with anything or reach for anything outside of ourselves to determine the correct place to be. You're listening to your own feelings and deciding from there. Let's take one more. And then slowly come back up. We're just pull that foot in a little bit so it's easier to make that adjustment. And we're going to step right back to down dog from here. All right, and once again, bring your feet in a little closer to each other and to your hands. So you're going short on the down dog and your feet are closer together. And then start bending your knees and walking your hands back as you lower your seat towards your heels and then open up your knees. Right, so I've got, if I turn this way, right here, right, this is where we are. Knees are wide. I just want for now you to leave your heels off the floor. Right, so it's a wide squat. And then go ahead and, like you did in lizard, try to round forward. Keep your heels up. You can use blocks, maybe put your forearms onto the mat, let your head drop. Getting nice and close, maybe tucking now your knees around your upper arms and squeezing in and staying. You can rock forward and back a little bit. All right, so as long as the hands are out in front of you, you've got that support. Let's take one more. Nice. And then the palms are going to lift. Your hips are going to lift. Walk the hands in a little more and squeeze those knees to your outer arms once again. Pull your weight forward and see if you want to come into Bakasana for a few breaths. And maybe you're just leaning forward and keeping your feet on the floor. One more. And then you can just lower down slowly and come to down dog. Walk your hands forward and walk your feet back and find the space between hands and feet. One more breath. And for the other side, inhale, gazing forward, exhale, left foot to left hand, back knee down. Untuck the back toes and walk your left foot over to the right. We're going to come into pigeon on this side. Same thing, right? Slide back. Try to keep your right hip turned forward and then fold forward into any configuration of pigeon that you're interested in. So take a few breaths like that. And I'll just check what happens next. Good. Okay. Sometimes there's a lot of joy in the resting or the holding of postures like this after the active part of your practice where, yeah, this is not easy to hold, but it doesn't require the kind of muscular engagement that some of the standing postures require, and therefore there's a little sense of relief and release here that feels wonderful. Right? So take a few breaths. You can come into sleeping pigeon or you can come into any other version of this. About 3 more. Yeah, lifting up slowly. Go ahead and pull your left foot in just a little. Make the step back to down dog a little smoother. Nice and easy for the body. If there's anything you need to do here, like raise a leg or pedal out, please feel free. And one more time, we're going to bring the feet a little forward and together. bend back like a coil. Come forward, walk your hands in, do it again. Bend, come forward, walk the hands in. Bend, come forward, one more time, walk the hands in, bend, and then see if you can drop your heels down. Malasana. So Malasana, walk your hands forward. Seat is down, knees are wide, maybe drop your head. And you can stay with flat palms if you like, or lift to your fingertips. Or if you're feeling really secure, you can tuck the arms around the legs and underneath the body. Maybe grab your heels, maybe just work your hands back and drop your head. Now, can you find joy without maybe happiness? Maybe you're not in the posture as deeply as you would like to be. But what's important here? This? Not so much. One more. Okay. All you have to do is lift and sit back. That's the easiest thing you'll have to do. Maybe slide a little forward if you need to. Soles of the feet are together. The knees are still wide, and you're rounding forward, coming into Charasana. I was going to say Baddha Konasana, but in this version, the feet are further away, so it's a slightly different pose. Feel free to either reach your arms forward or wrap your hands around your feet. Relax your head. Breathe here. Sometimes I like to tuck my arms under my shins and link my hands so that I can sort of create a little bit of a vice to hold myself here. I'm going to stay for a few more breaths and just allow that last little bit of yielding and releasing and relaxing in the posture required to find your depth for today. Okay. Come out of that slowly. Straighten the legs out in front of you. Inhale, raise the arms. And then exhale, go ahead and fold forward over the legs. Now again, if you're reaching for an external cue of forehead to shins, if you're not there, does that mean you're disappointed? And if you're there, are you happy? Tomorrow, we might not be here. Here, I mean in the pose. So don't measure from the outside where you are on the inside. Find those everlasting, permanent, real measures. Hold here. One more breath. And then help yourself come up slowly, taking your time, releasing back up to Dandasana, and just sliding forward and making your way down onto your back. And I'll have you just go down slowly, feet on the floor, knees bent, so that you can curl down, feeling your own strength work as you come down. Just steady, it doesn't have to be super slow, but steady enough that you're not just dropping down onto the ground, or you're at least working towards it. Okay. So hug your right knee to your chest. Lift the foot up, grab the pinky toe side of your foot with your right hand, and then let the knee drop down towards the floor, like a squat, or the Malasana, or the lizard, torso's on the inside of the leg. With the knee bent, you're going to have more satisfying range because you're going to be able to bring that knee closer to the floor, which you can do, or you can try to stretch the left leg forward. So, pick for yourself. You can even grab your heel and just let your straight arm draw the knee down towards the mat. What washes over you? What feels good? How does that breath feel? I'm going to release that foot. Keep the right knee bent. Bring it across the body to the left. Find your twist. If you want to change up the variation, go ahead and do that. guarantee you'll feel joyful in the twist, whether your right shoulder is touching the ground or not, whether your right knee is on the floor or not. It's not about what you look like, it's what you feel. Come through center. Set both feet down, center your hips if you need to, knees stay bent. And then left knee to your chest, left hand little to the side of the foot, pick the foot up, drop the knee down. So now on this side you see, I got a lot of good range here, mostly because this knee is bent. Once I straighten the leg, I won't be able to keep the knee down quite as far. All right, so you'll see, as I straighten it up, it lifts up. Hold and breathe. Hold that heel any way you like. But don't forget that these asanas were never intended to be a measure of the quality of your practice. It was only a way designed to master your mind, your breath in your mind, and to get you ready for deeper work. So take that knee across your body. I'm going to slide a little bit over. Yeah. Reach the knee down and the arm away. So how great would it be if what we learn on our mat and the skills we develop help us navigate the world of happiness and joy more clearly? That we can translate how we categorize happiness and joy in a way that helps us see that clearly in our day-to-day lives. That's the goal. Bring the knee back up. Center your hips. Pause. Go ahead and stretch your legs forward and your arms can rest by your side, palms turn up. Close your eyes. I'll come up to sit. Let your body settle down and relax now. And just try to let all of that discernment go. Stop in the practice of trying to see things clearly and just do nothing right now. Just relax enough that the work is settling in even if you don't think about it. I really hope that everybody gets to the point where, at least in Shavasana, you can feel your joy. I know it's not everybody's favorite, but it should be at some point. Yeah. So you can watch and witness your body unwind, slowly soften around the edges. Is there a moment when your body and your breath and your mind all occupy the same space at the same time? And if that's true, can you feel that sense of joy, the permanent nature of things, when those three aspects of ourselves find each other? You have to think of your yoga practice as a vehicle. It is a means to get from where you are to where you want to be. It's a beautiful journey as you're taking it and enjoyable. But it's not the source of the joy. The source of the joy is where it leads you. And that's just something to hold tight to, whether you're on your mat or off. Joy is what we cultivate that no one can take away from us. And no external circumstance can challenge. Of course, because you're home, you have the ability to stay here as long as you want. And if you're ready, you can gently awaken your body and roll over to your right side, taking your time. Pause for a moment, keep your eyes closed, and then just help yourself up to sit, bringing the palms of your hands together in front of your heart. I hope that each time you come onto your mat, you're able to touch your joy just a little bit, to tap into that permanent source that's always there. May the space between where you are and where you want to be inspire you. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.